Josh Raven here with the Daily Dot, joined by Steeelb4ck from the Unicorns of Love. We've got a little bit of a midweek update coming from the UOL Gaming House from their AD carry himself, Steeelb4ck. And before we get into last week's games and next week's games and all that kind of stuff, I think at this point, halfway through the season, we have to talk about Unicorns of Love. They've kind of surprised everyone so far this season. You've been doing extremely well. Did you see this coming at all when you first joined UOL for this season?
Well, at first when I joined them, I was in NA, and I saw the lineup, and I knew that it was like good players already in it, and I had faith in them. That's why I joined this team. And once I was there, then we picked Fox, and when we started scrimming together, I felt that we were actually stronger than I even expected. We were winning like most of the scrims. We were all working together, and I think like everyone has experience and stuff, so it make it easier. So now, like after a few scrims, I felt that we could be like even first in Europe.
Wow, okay. So you're almost there. You're doing okay. Let's talk about last week. Obviously, the first game you did face up against H2K, one of the best teams in Europe right now. They're doing very well, and it was a very close game. I think it went to something like 50 minutes. Can you tell us what went wrong in that game and why you weren't able to kind of close it out and get a victory?
Well, we went first for H2K. I think we had a decent draft. We didn't expect the Tom Kench pick, which was really annoying. And I think the main thing that happened that game was when they sneaked the Baron, because we didn't expect it, and they got 2 tower afterwards from it, and we really fall behind because they couldn't hold our 1-3-1, so we could just split push and win the game from that. I think if they wouldn't have snaked the Nash, we would have like win this game easily. So I think the Nash was a big turning point, and after it was like team fights, which the Tom Kench really like annoy us. We didn't expect it. I think it was the biggest turning point was the Baron.
Okay, well, it wasn't the end of the world. Obviously, you went on the next day to face off against Fnatic, and you were able to defeat them. They obviously recently they did remove Noxiac and bring in Clybike, or Cly as he's now called. Did you notice any like lack of synergy or any problems in the bot lane because it was a new player? And also, obviously, you can talk about the win itself and why you were able to overcome Fnatic.
Well, when I heard that they were making a change about Noxiac and taking this guy Clybike, I wasn't really sure because I think Noxiac was doing well. Maybe they had problems inside, I don't know. And I felt that Fnatic was like fine on lane. I think they're a good team, but when it comes to mid game, it seems like they play really passive. Like we get a lot of visions on the map, but I think we had a pretty good draft too. And it was lane swap, which we handled it pretty nicely, I think. But like we sneaked the Nash too that game. That's funny because H2K sneaked the Nash and won from it pretty much, and we did the same because we learned we were like, okay, we need to sneak the Nash, guys, and we had Rise, I remember, so I just stood mid to annoy them, and we just like took the Nash, and then I think it was the biggest turning point again from against Fnatic.
Well, hey, if it works, you can just take those strategies and use them yourself, right? If it works, if it gets the wins. Obviously, we spoke briefly about Fnatic getting in Cly, one of the new rookies of the season. Unicorns of Love through some perhaps unfortunate circumstances because of Diamond Procs. You yourselves now have this new player new to the competitive scene, that's Rudy. I believe you had Jocko in the first week, and then you got Rudy in for the second week of that. So what made you stick with Rudy, first of all? Like, what did Rudy do to make you think, like, yes, this is going to be our guy for the rest of the season, for the split?
Well, when Diamond was out because of visa issues, we didn't have time to try out any jungler, so we took just the best one instantly. It was like Joko, but he was in Millennium, so we couldn't really keep him. But he played like pretty good on stage. It actually impressed me because he wasn't scared. He was making calls, and I think he played pretty well. And then afterwards, we try out some jungler, and we ended up with Rudy because he was playing good in scrims and he had motivations. So we wanted him because we really value the motivation as something really important that like a player needs.
Okay, and how do you think Rudy's been doing? I think that was his second week now. on the LCS stage. He hasn't really looked too noticeable. In fact, I just saw him in the background, I think, looking over your shoulder. How do you think he's been settling into life in the LCS? Has he been doing just fine, enjoying it, enjoying life?
Yeah, I think he's doing better than people expected. I think we help him like every day after scrims to make him learn how the jungle passing and stuff because he lacks a lot of experience. He comes from solo queue. But I think we're doing good, and I think he's playing pretty decent in LCS, and that he will only get better with time.
Well, you can hope so. He's got 2 big tests coming next week. Obviously, your week 6 matchup is going to be Vitality and Origen, 2 extremely good teams. Vitality perhaps on a bit more of an upswing right now than Origen. What do you think of your chances in those games? And I think if you win both of them, you've got a chance to potentially take the top spot. I'm not sure exactly if that works, but maybe.
Yeah, well, I think Vitality is a really strong team. They are like very good individually, I feel, very strong players. But I think their weakness is that they play a lot around top, which we can already prep for that because we know that they play a lot around top. But I think it's gonna be hard. I remember we played them, and it was really close again versus this team. I think it's gonna be hard, and I think Origen is actually better than people think. I feel from scrims and from playing them, I think they're very smart, and it's gonna be definitely 2 really hard match.
Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck in those games, and obviously the best of luck to the rest of Unicorns of Love in the rest of the split. Thank you very much for joining us for the interview. Is there anything else you'd like to say before it ends?
Thank you for everyone that support us. It matters a lot, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thank you very much, Steeelb4ck.
Thank you.